Well, good afternoon. Got some good news. I want to let everybody know that we finally have a car. It's not a new one by any means. It's 12 years old and it's kind of wore out, but we finally got one. We've got a subscriber in England named Ian, and he doesn't want to say his last name. He's really been pushing for me to get a car, and he's helped us out substantially with that. We didn't ask for anything, not a dime, and he just volunteered it, and he's been pushing us to get into a car because he knows that I shouldn't be on a motorcycle anymore. So it's taken some time, but we have one now, and we just got through with the major repairs on it this past week. Yeah, this past weekend. Yeah, Sunday we finished it. It needed a lot. The whole front end was shot. We got it from a neighbor, and the road out here is real bad, and they just didn't do anything to it. They didn't do any repairs to it to speak of, and they just kept driving it and driving it and driving it, and the roads just destroyed the front end. They have McPherson struts on the front end, which is a fancy shock absorber with giant coil springs around them, and you've got to compress them, put them all together, and release them in order to install them. And I was going to do it. I know how, and I've got the compression tools already down in my storeroom, but it was just too big a job for me. I couldn't do it. I paid two guys a total of $76 converted from pesos, so it was 4,000 pesos. So it came out to about $76. And fortunately I have good credit and I had good credit cards, so I was able to buy all the parts on credit. Took a while to get everything together. It needed so much, but I got the parts on credit cards. And the hub, when I would drive it, we got it from a neighbor, so I've been able to test drive it and check it out. And you could start driving and get 40 kilometers an hour and up, and the faster you would go, the louder it sounded. It almost sounded like there was a jet engine in the back. Well, it told me it was the wheel bearings, so I found some hub assemblies, and I had the guys put those on there for me, and shocks in the rear as well. That pretty much fixed it up. And so we have a car. It's 12 years old, have 100,000+ miles on it, and it may have more. The oil smelled real bad when I changed it, so I don't know how often it had been changed. I'm sure it has, but I don't know how often. But we got it changed out, and I put Castrol 2050 in there, which is a great oil. And we've got something now we can travel in as a family. When VJ, our oldest son, moved here in March, I knew that in order to be able to go places and do things that I was going to need a car, but because of my heart troubles, that was completely off the books, and not even we couldn't even consider it. But thanks to Ian, we were able to finally get one. Buying a car here isn't easy, and there's so many of them that flooded, go underwater, and so you just got to be really careful. But I'm going to show you the videos of them putting the car back together and doing the repair work on it, along with some photographs of the parts. And I hope you guys enjoy. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. No, just a little bit of a follow-up. Rose has got a professional driver's license, a regular car driver's license, and the motorcycle endorsement as well. So she's licensed to drive it, and she does have it insured, and I made sure that we put the car in her name, so she has the car. If something should happen to me, then she doesn't have to deal with bureaucracy here and either get or not get the car. They may not let her have the car, so the smartest thing to do was put it in her name now, so in the event that something happens to me, then she's got it. She's not able to drive a standard, so we're working with it when we can. It's kind of rough for her, but we're taking it a little bit at a time. We're not in a hurry. She doesn't need to drive yet, but at least she'll have the car, and if she should happen to need to sell it later after I'm gone, then that'll help her out quite a bit, I'm sure. But I just want to give you that little tidbit there. Thanks.
Siya daw ay kwan. Tuway no?
Hindi mo na mabutol kalikot. Ito pa rin nasa yung butang.
Kapulay.
Ito paguto.
Kulir na din ang isa.
It's a complete McPherson struck rebuild. Even with new coil springs, they're on order.
Do kalisa mo ng puspik lang ako. Ito na kayo, usap na ngayon. Ha? Compare sa isang.
Got a good mechanic here who's changing out the who's changing out the entire McPherson strut assembly. We put new coil springs in there, shock absorbers,
Yeah.
seals, and then Rose got this top bearing plate here.
Yeah.
She went into the city and found them because the other ones were froze up. But we've had to do a complete rebuild on the front end of this car.
Yeah.
It was very, very dangerous.
Now it's okay. Yeah.
It should be,
The
yeah.
new one.
Yeah.
You just take your boosting everything. I think it should look like okay.
Okay, you check the tie rod ends and see if it's loose.
It's okay.
And then we've got to do the rear shocks. We've got those in the trunk. A bunch more parts in here ready to go on. These are tubes for the rear shocks, help protect them. And then here's the old bearing plates. Bearings were completely falling out of this one.
Yeah, the sound you heard?
Yeah. Then here's the new strut for the front, the other one. And more bushings and stuff for the front. Negotiate and bargain it down. We had used it a few times and then realized how many problems it had, and we made them an offer and they took it. Well, all the suspension was bad. Had to rebuild. We're rebuilding it all, and electric windows didn't work, so we've had to fix those if I want to. They're expensive.
Hindi lang sila takot mo lang.
But at least we have a car now.
May direksyon na siya mo.
Ang iban, isa, balik di ba to, no?
You have a car now, not me. It's in your name. You worked out the deal. We negotiated with them and managed to get them, give us a good price on it.
Nakilan. Balik na lang. Nakilan. Ipan sa discipline.